Hi, everyone. I am Becca from DECO BOKO Speaks, and today we are introducing ECUVO, sorry, to our buyers, and we are speaking today with Jack.
Hi
And
there.
hello. And I think it's very early over there.
It is first thing in the morning, yeah, so you'll
So,
excuse me if I'm
ohayou gozaimasu.
Ohayou gozaimasu to everybody.
Lovely. And so, where are you right now in Japan? You mentioned, is it Higashikagawa? Kagawa?
Very
Kagawa?
close,
I'm
very
look
close.
Higashikagawa. I was like,
Perfect,
there?
perfect.
Yes. All
Yes,
right.
yeah. We are in
Second time's a charm.
Higashikagawa-shi, yes, which is in the southern areas of Japan. It's actually on an island called Shikoku, which
Oh,
is the smallest of the four main islands of Japan. So
okay.
we're way out in the countryside here.
Oh, wow. Yeah, the last person we spoke with, she's from Hokkaido, so the north.
Okay.
So I think
Okay.
we're making our trip around.
We're doing the loop of the whole country, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
we are.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
And Jack, and so how did you uh, find your way working with ECUVO and their brand? I'm just curious to find out more.
Well, I'd been living in Japan for a few years before joining the company.
Hmm.
I actually used to work as a tour leader for a travel company. So I'd take groups of foreign tourists and we'd, travel around the country and I'd, be a tour guide, provide information, things like that.
Hmm.
So I traveled to pretty much every area of Japan. And I always particularly enjoyed coming here to Shikoku.
Mm,
Out of every place I went to, it was always my favorite. So there was always a little part of me that said, I'd quite like to live down here if I had the chance.
that's
And
amazing.
yeah, and then I sort of saw the opportunity to work here at this company. And I decided to take it. So I suppose it was the
Mm,
area that really drew me into the company initially.
amazing.
Yeah, and well, I haven't turned back since, as they say.
And where are you from originally? I sense an accent.
There is an there is an accent.
There's
Yes,
definitely an accent.
I'm from near London in the UK, sort of the outskirts of London. Yes, you probably
Lovely.
don't know the particular town. It's a town called Watford.
Nope.
Not particularly famous internationally. It's the birthplace of Elton John, which
Hey, that's something.
we're all very proud of. Yeah, but that's about it. Yeah.
That's lovely. Well, I've always had a personal connection to Japan, and I've been
Mm,
a few times, and
okay.
just I haven't been down to the south, so that's something I
All right.
have to do next time.
Something for the
So,
list. Yeah.
yes, for sure. And well, I've been looking at ECUVO, the brand, and I
Hmm.
wondered if you may want to talk with our buyers a little bit more about the philosophy behind what you do and the clothing that you make and relationship, to the seasons in Japan, because
Hmm.
I know that's a big part of what you guys do.
Hmm. It is a big part of what we do. Yeah, I mean, obviously the goods we make are very much seasonal goods.
Hmm.
We make gloves and scarves and hats and things, which are very indicative of the winter months.
Of
In
course.
fact, in haiku, the Japanese poetry, one of the sort of prerequisites for a haiku is it includes what's called a kigo, which
Hmm.
is like a sort of seasonal word or phrase, a word or phrase which denotes a particular season. And the word for glove in Japanese, tebukuro, is sort of accepted as a kigo for winter. Uh,
Ah.
Bit of an aside there, but yeah, it's a seasonal good, is the point I'm trying to make. Yeah, and obviously, in Japan, people place a lot of importance on the seasons in general. Whether it be cherry blossom viewing in the spring or
Oh
the
yeah.
summer festivals or the winter cooking.
Hmm.
It's a big part of the culture here in many ways,
Mm.
right? So as a Japanese company, obviously each of us here at Fukushin, we sort of hold the seasons dear to us in our own lives. So we are, on an individual basis, worried about,
Global
the
warming,
threat.
maybe a little.
Yeah, pretty much, the
Yeah.
threat to the seasons that
Mm.
environmental change like that can bring. And on top of that, environmental change, particularly global warming, as you say, as well as being potentially an existential issue to, the human race in the long term,
Hmm.
in the shorter term, it's definitely an existential issue for us as a company.
Mm.
Um, to put it bluntly, if the temperatures continue to rise,
You wouldn't have a need, right, for
exactly, yeah,
protective clothing. Yeah.
exactly, fewer and fewer people
Fewer.
would need gloves
Mm.
and hats and scarves and things like this. So we sort of came to realize that while our primary mission, if you like, is to protect people from the seasons,
Hmm.
as in protect them from the cold of winter, it's also in our interest and, I think our responsibility to protect the seasons themselves
Mm.
from environmental change, you know. And the only way we can really do this is to just take a more environmentally conscious approach to
With
what
like the
we do.
materials, with the materials and stuff. Like,
The
you.
materials is definitely a big part of it, yeah. So,
Mm.
you know, on all of our products, you'll find this "Made in Japan" label proudly shown here.
Lovely. We
So
like that.
all of the ECUVO products are made here at our own facility.
Mm.
So we have control over every stage of the process, including the selection of the materials. So we actually use our own yarn for the materials,
Oh.
yarn that we developed ourselves here from a roughly even mix of recycled wool and recycled polyester. And we use this in combination with some natural materials, certified organic cotton, and some cashmere as well. So yeah, the materials is definitely something we place a lot of importance on.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. And it probably, when you're doing everything on site as you are, it probably reduces
Mhm.
the carbon footprint that you're leaving as well. I can't tell
Yeah.
you how many, boxes I get with so much packaging material, and,
Hmm.
it would be great to
Yeah.
know, yeah,
Yeah.
that a
Yeah.
brand is
There are.
conscious of that. Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah. Again, just having more control over it. We're able to control the packaging as well. We try and use sort of recyclable packaging, and just reducing waste.
Mm.
We sort of developed our own knitting technique for these products, which basically cuts down waste, or
Yeah.
pretty much eliminates wasted yarn and things like that. So, we make
Yeah.
good use of the materials as well.
I was also reading that you guys have it's a permanent warranty, like for any
Mhm.
repairs. Like if I were to rip my glove or anything,
Mhm.
it's continued on, so that it kind of reduces the need to keep on, well, to
Yeah,
keep, I guess it's not good, but you know what I'm saying. But
yeah, yeah. No, I mean, one of
it builds
the
more trust in what you guys do, basically.
yeah, yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, one of the sort of things we had in our mind when we were approaching the whole design and everything of the brand was this whole idea of slow fashion over fast fashion, right?
Mm.
This idea that rather than buying new things all the time and then throwing things away, you buy good quality items which are going to last, and you
Mm-hmm.
use them for a long time, right?
Yeah.
Which this obviously reduces waste and
Right.
reduces environmental harm. So the repair warranty is sort of its uh, I mean, as much as anything else, it's kind of like a symbol of our commitment to make good quality products
Of
that
course.
we are confident won't need repairing for a long time to come.
Right. Right.
But and again, when or if the time comes where it does need some basic repairs,
Mm-hmm.
we're quite happy to do that free of charge. Obviously,
Mm-hmm.
they do need to be sent in to us in order for us to do that. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, the repairs ourselves, yeah, we're quite happy to do
But the
that.
better, yeah, but the better the quality, I feel like the more trust that you have. And I've
Mhm.
found, like, the older I get, the more I place stock into a brand that's lasting longer, things that are better, like higher, better quality made. I can't say that nicer, but you know what I'm
Mm.
saying.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I'd
I
rather pay
mean,
a little bit more, but I know
mhm,
that I'm going to have something that lasts longer. So,
mhm. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, that's sort of
yeah.
the basically the philosophy that that we approach the products
Mm-hmm.
with. Is the idea of, again, I mean, we spend more time making these products than we generally do with products
Yeah,
we made in the past, because again, we take more care with them, we make them higher quality,
of course.
and we do charge a little bit more you
Yeah.
know than some of the lower quality products, of course. But the
Yeah.
idea again is that people, as you say, spend a little bit more money for products that they can use for years on end, and won't need to keep buying new products every couple of years.
Of course. And I'm just, as you speak, I'm just showing our buyers a little bit of your work on website,
Hmm.
and I know you have some actual products that you will be showing us, but
I do have some to hand, yeah.
and some, but it's lovely to see just this beautiful website, and I think you have your hand in this. I hear your Japanese is quite good.
It's I
Although
get
I put this in English for myself, but
I do get by, but yes,
Yeah.
I do help out with the website. I mean, I'm sort of in charge of the marketing and things like that, so I do help
Mm.
out with the website and stuff like that. But not so much the technical side. There's
Mm-hmm.
people who are much better with computers doing that. But yeah,
Of
the
course.
content is, yeah, down to me.
Well, it's beautiful because I can see right away that it's not fast fashion. I love the palette, the color palette. It's very simple. It
Mm,
goes with anything, which is
right.
something that I'm always looking for in the items that I buy for winter. It's,
Mm,
my coats, gloves, everything, because you're going to be wearing
mm,
it every day. And,
mm,
I also just the amount of warmth and the materials that you're using naturally with cashmere wool, that's going to keep you warmer. So,
mm.
and I hope
Absolutely.
to be warm, to need to be warm for for a long time, and global warming won't get us. So,
Yes, yeah, fingers crossed. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, no, the colors, as you say, we put a lot of thought into the choice of colors. So as you can
Hmm.
sort of see from the website here, all of our products are made with the same three colors. I've got some
Yeah.
products in hand to show.
Oh yeah.
So the first one here is this
Let
sort
me go
of
up here. Yeah.
off-white color that you can
Hmm.
see. And then we've got a light gray
Lovely.
and finally a charcoal color. So all of the ECUVO products are made purely with these three colors.
Maybe hold it back a little bit from the lens so we can see the
Oh yeah,
and a little higher.
little higher
It'll
there.
cover your face just for a second.
Oh
Oh,
yeah,
that's
well that
great. Yeah, I
might
couldn't
not
see
be a
the whole
bad
thing.
thing.
No, no, no,
Yeah.
no, no.
Yeah.
Oh, that looks great. Thank you.
Yeah, so the colors we
Yeah.
chose, obviously they're quite sort of somber colors, plain
Hmm.
colors, which, like you were saying, we feel will be quite easy to pair with other colors, right? So they can
Hmm.
be worn with a variety of different outfits.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, which we hope will really help sort of people shrink their wardrobes, if you like, by doing more with less, which,
Yes.
again, as you were saying, is a big component of the whole idea of slow fashion.
Exactly.
So yeah, but the thing we were really aiming for with the designs was sort of simple and timeless styles,
Mm,
i.e. designs that people will still find pleasing after many years of use.
exactly. And I feel like it brings that philosophy to your closet where you don't need a lot of items in order to be comfortable and fashionable. So,
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's that win-win situation, really.
hmm.
I mean, from a business point of view as well, it's beneficial for us to not be constantly bringing out new designs and materials,
Hmm.
because then we can really focus on making a smaller amount of good items, good
Mm,
quality items. And it's better for the environment because if we're always bringing out new designs, the reality is that we're forced to destroy what we don't sell of the old designs
right,
because
right,
once they're old,
right,
once the style's out of fashion, then nobody wants to buy it anymore.
right.
So it's harmful to the environment and for the customers as well. Again, they don't need to buy more than they need. Again,
Hmm.
they can do more with less. They can use their money more efficiently,
Hmm.
and yeah, I think it's just all around a more sensible approach to
Mm.
fashion and to clothing. Yeah, so it's
Do you,
something that we've
uh,
tried to embody with this brand.
and how do you think that most customers find about ECUVO? Like generally, is it just through your website or is it social media, word of mouth?
Well, we're certainly trying to push, word of mouth on a lot of different fronts.
Hmm.
We're, trying to get more of a social media presence,
Hmm.
and again, us taking part in trade shows like this one is
Of
part
course,
of
yeah.
trying to get the name out there. I think up until now, we have been involved in a few trade shows so far,
Hmm.
which so far have proved a great way of, just connecting us to different buyers.
Hmm.
And and again, I say the word of mouth thing I think is quite important, particularly with a product like this, which I find is often more appealing to sort of smaller,
Yeah.
um,
Like a niche type of
retailers.
audience, you think?
Yeah, yeah. So up to now, we haven't really sold to many sort of big multinational
Mm,
clothing retailers. We tend to have more success with smaller sort of boutique stores, things like this.
that makes
And
sense.
I think a lot of those kind of establishments, there's a certain circle of
Hmm.
contact and information sharing.
That makes
So I
sense.
think if you have success with one business and a business who are very happy with your product, they're
Hmm.
usually quite happy to recommend it to people they know, and word gets around.
Of
So I
course.
think, yeah, definitely word of mouth is something that we feel is very important.
Do you find how large is the team that works on this particular brand? Because I know you have an umbrella company, but I'm
Mhm.
curious.
I mean, to be honest, in the production team, I mean, there are a few people who work with the actual sewing and things like this. Then we have
Hmm.
quality checkers. And
Design, I'm assuming too, or like from the
yeah,
top, I guess.
yeah. But altogether, it's less than 10 people who are involved
Oh
in the.
wow. So it's very small. It's very boutique. I was curious. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, there are people who are involved in the running of the company in general, so do the sort of
Hmm.
umbrella marketing and running and things
Hmm.
like this. But the people who are involved exclusively with this brand,
Hmm.
yeah, would be in the single digits. Yeah.
That's amazing. So you guys are kind of like a little tight family, if you will, with all
Hmm.
aspects, and you kind of know where everything, what the next step is of the process, and seeing it
Yeah. We
from the
definitely like
beginning
to
to
have the,
yeah.
yeah.
That's very cool. Well, is there
Mm.
anything else you'd like to share with our buyers today? Just because, you know.
Um, I thought I might give a little explanation of sort of the link between where we are here
Hmm.
and the production of gloves.
Oh, that would be
Um,
lovely. Yeah.
yeah, so again, as I said, I'm talking to you from Higashikagawa-shi
Hmm.
in southern Japan. Now, as a lot of people may be aware of, it's quite common in Japan for a particular
Hmm.
town or area to be famous for a certain produce.
Right.
So some areas are famous for their sake, some for their pottery, and so
Mm.
on and so forth. So the town I'm speaking to you from now
Yes.
is famous for the production of gloves. So much so, in fact, that its nickname is Tebukuroshi, which literally means glove town.
Oh, that's
Uh,
so funny.
this is actually
Yeah.
officially recognized by the post office as an alternative name for the town.
Oh, so if
Uh,
I ever have any trouble against saying the
yeah,
town, I can just say that. Okay.
absolutely,
Perfect.
yeah. So if you were to address a letter to us here at Glovetown, it would be delivered with no problem. There is a story behind
Sugoi.
Sugoi, yeah.
Yeah.
There is a story behind this whole association. It's a story which actually goes back well over 100 years to the sort of latter half of the 1800s. So I thought I'd give you a brief version of it.
Sure. Yeah.
So it actually all starts with a story of forbidden love. There was a monk, a middle-aged monk called Shunlei, who was from Higashikagawa-shi,
Mm-hmm.
and he fell in love with a local girl of around 19, I believe. Her name was Takeno.
Mm.
Now, Shunlei was willing to give up his lifelong career as a monk in order to be with Takeno. But obviously, at the time, marrying for something as frivolous as love was not really the done thing.
Right.
And because they were from different social backgrounds, they knew that their union would never be recognized by the local community. So it
Mm.
was a bit of a Romeo and Juliet kind of
I was
story.
going to say, yeah.
Yeah. But unable to contain their feelings, they eloped and they actually ran away to Osaka,
Oh.
which I imagine is probably more well known amongst the viewers
I've been
than us.
to Osaka as well. Yes. Oh, yes.
Yeah, much bigger town as well. Now they had no money at first, so I think Shunlei he went round to people's homes collecting alms, basically begging for food.
Mm.
And Takeno, she was able to get some part-time work at a knitting factory in Osaka. Now, knitting was one of the many things that had quite recently been sort of brought in from the West after Japan opened
Yes.
themselves up again after centuries of isolation. So it was a relatively new thing in Japan at the time. And Takano and Shunlei, they saw big potential in these knitted products, particularly in knitted gloves.
Mm.
So they decided to set up their own little operation, knitting gloves by hand. Now, this would have been a very laborious task back
I,
then, before they had the
I'm sure.
machine
Yeah.
technology that we have now.
Yes.
So they called up a few of their relatives from Higashikagawa-shi to help them with this business.
Ah, there you
Yeah,
go.
so there's a little
Yeah.
exodus over there. Eh?
Yeah.
Now, unfortunately, Shunlei passed away only about 4 years after moving to Osaka.
Mm.
But his widow, Takano, and his other relatives, they wanted to sort of keep the dream alive. So they kept the business going, they built it up, and it grew steadily over the years. Fast forward about 10 years,
Okay.
and the company was doing pretty well. It grown to a reasonable size. But back in their hometown here in
Mm. Yeah.
Higashikagawa-shi, things had taken a bit of a turn for the worse. So it was an area that had traditionally relied on the production of salt and sugar.
Mm.
But these were two commodities that were increasingly being imported in from abroad,
Right.
which had dealt a pretty critical blow to the local economy.
Mm.
So wanting to save or, revive the economy of their hometown, Takeno and the other relatives, they decided to move the operations of their business from Osaka back to their hometown of Higashikagawa-shi.
Ah.
And then fast forward again over 100 years to today, and this small town produces about 80% of the gloves that you'll find in Japan.
Wow.
So the
That is
area has,
incredible.
yeah, yeah. So the area has a very long history
Wow.
in the production of gloves, and the company has a slightly short history. We've been up and running since 1977, so
Hmm.
slightly shorter, but still
But
significant.
still, and also just talk about, turning a tough situation around and,
Mm.
bringing back the heritage of a city.
Mm.
That's a really incredible. So,
Yeah, yeah. It's a story I quite like. It's got a little bit of everything in there.
yeah,
Again,
it's a
a bit
little,
of
a
life.
little romance, a little drama.
Yeah, so I thought I'd share that with everybody quickly. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you for sharing. That is so
Oh, you're
lovely.
welcome.
Yeah, and would you like to just repeat how people can find you and ECUVO and for the trade
Mm.
show? Yeah.
Certainly, yes. Well, again, we are on the DECO BOKO trade show.
Hmm.
So, yeah, if you just go there and find our collection,
Hmm.
we have a showroom there, which is just called the collection. And we have a relatively, finite line of products. So they're all available in one collection there.
Hmm.
So, yeah, take a look. You can order through the DECO BOKO trade show.
Hmm.
If you have any other questions about, shipping or you want further information about the products, you're welcome to contact us at any time.
Lovely. And also, you can visit ecuvo-japan.com. Is that the
You
same
can,
web address in Japan? Just making sure.
yes, it's the same
Yes.
way. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
great. Awesome. And so basically, yes, you can basically go on to deco-boko.com to check out more ECOVO products. And if you haven't registered yet, just don't forget to register. Easy way to do it. And yeah, that's about it. I guess we just hope to see you at the show, in our
Mm,
virtual world.
yes.
And it's great to do stuff like this because now I get to talk to you from all the way across the world, and
Mhm.
you're a day ahead of me.
That is
I'm in
true.
New York, so yeah.
That is true. Yes. A happy yesterday to you.
Yes, thank you. I feel like I'm time traveling here, so it's
Yes.
pretty
Yeah. It
cool.
is a bizarre, isn't it?
Yeah. So, well, thank you so much, Jack. And I'm sure that our buyers are more than thrilled to get to hear more of what you guys do. And I wish you the best of luck.
Thank you very much. Well, it's been a pleasure talking to you.
Yeah.
And yeah, again, I hope to hear from more of the buyers out there in the near future.
Yes, for sure. Well, thank you for watching, everyone. Bye.
Bye bye.